Hello everyone, welcome again to my channel. Please subscribe if you like the content, and I'll be putting out more content as we go and learn more about chess. Today we are talking about castling. Castling is reserved for the king and the rook. Those are the two pieces that are involved in castling. And you can see we have notation here. There's a 0-0 and there's a 0-0-0. So why is that? Well, there are two types of castling. The 0-0 is on the king side, which will be on this side, going to the right. And the 3 zeros is the queen side, the long castle, or the queen side castle is on the left. What are the moves? How do we castle? Well, we have to start, you have to touch the king first, and you go 2 spaces to the right. 1, 2. And you jump over with the rook. This is the only time a rook can jump over the any piece, and the only time that a king can move twice. And this is one move. Why is this a rule? It helps to shorten the amount of time. I think if you do it just the regular way, take 4 moves. What you can do here in 1. And also, it allows you to protect the king. Usually there are pawns right here. Okay, there's pawns right here. And it also connects the rooks. And you can move them towards the center and attack this way. So it is multi-purpose here, but mostly for king safety. Let's move these back because we're not done showing how to castle. We just did the king side. We need to show you the king side, queen side, or the long castle. See, it's longer here, but the amount of moves that king moves is the same. It's the same. 2 on the right and 2 on the left. So you go 1, 2, and you move the rook over. And this is the long side or queen side castling, and the 0-0-0 notation would be placed if on your notation sheet. Alrighty, so this is what castling is. Are we done? No, we're not done, because there are more conditions under which you can castle, and you cannot castle under these conditions. Oh, of course, these cannot move even once. Let's say this rook moved. Now you cannot castle on the queen side. You can still castle on the king side, or the short castle. You can still do that because they're still in the original position. Or let's say if this rook had already moved, you cannot no longer castle on this side. You can still castle here because they were still in the original spot, and there's empty space here. Clear path. Okay. But under these are the conditions which we can not castle. Okay, look what's happening here to the king. It is in check. Can we castle now? No, like as I said, you cannot move a king while it's in check. It's too late. So that's why you really have to gauge when you're going to do castling, usually early in the beginning of the game, but not always. It's depending on the player and where the positioning is. Okay, and how many attackers you're going to have, and so forth. So you have to really, the more you play, the more you will understand where to do this. Especially start watching your favorite chess players, like Magnus Carlsen. Maybe he's #1 in the world. There's so many out there. There's really so many. So you choose your favorite one and start following and looking over old games. So we're still not done though explaining. Let's see if the bishop was right here. Oh, it's so far away. Yes, doesn't matter because these are long range type of situations here. Look where it's staring at. It's staring at G1. It's checked. So can the king go into a check square? No, it cannot. So that is what you need to remember. Okay, it has to have a clear path and no check squares. Let's try another situation. Let's see, what if the knight is right here? Notice what is happening to this d1 square and d1 square. And what is happening to this f1 square? Yes, the knight is attacking both d1 and f1 at the same time. Powerful piece. So can the king move in the castling? No, because he would have to go through a check. You cannot go through a check when you're castling. This would not work. So it really is very important to have you start practicing, start looking at games that you see where where you're castling. Also want to let you know, so once you do castle, oops, we have to touch the king first. Oh, he has to be the king. And then you castle. If they're pawns right here, right, you're nice and snug, and you think you're all nice and comfortable, right? And somehow maybe the rooks are all the way over there, but the queen starts to strike. What do you think is going to happen here? It is indeed a checkmate. The pawns cannot move back. Remember, the pawns can move back. The only spaces that he couldn't move here is illegal because the queen is basically controlling all these squares. So can the king move anywhere? No, he cannot move. So that's why we have to sometimes create an escape square before this happens. Okay, so he would have an escape square to move to. So you'll have to always watch out for these types of attacks. This would be like a back rank attack. You go through the back, or a smother attack where you have no place to go. You're smothered, including by your own pieces. So always look out for that. But overall, it usually is safer to have your king in a castling situation. Everything is different though, and the more you play, the more you will understand and have a feel for when to castle and where to castle, on the queen side or on the king side. Good luck with your play, and tell me how it's going below the video.